talk about gear today. Let's go. Oh, I need my drone too. No mug this time. Just a couple of bags full of gear. Let's talk about what I've been using in 2022. Let's start with the actual camera bag. ProMaster bag, I think it's a Cityscape. I purchased it while I was working at the camera store. If you want to see that video, I'll link it up there. Great bag overall, couple of front pockets, lots of space for random mismatched stuff in here. A lot of things. We got a couple of filters. We'll talk about filters here in a little bit. Memory, card slots, cleaner pens, just various cleaning goods. This is like the boring stuff, but some people like to see it. Cleaning cloths, all those wonderful things. Extra batteries for various different devices that I'm using. So that's the main pocket we've got there. A couple other pockets in the front. GoPro chest mount. We're probably gonna do some POV kind of shooting stuff here in the near future. Is some planned content I have anyways. As well as we got some Peak Design little anchor packs in here. Love these things. These are so good. If you've got a camper person in your life, you're looking for a gift for them. I know it's post-Christmas, but birthdays, whatever that might be. Highly recommend these little anchor packs. They're so great. And these ones are black ones. I love the color change I got. And then this is a cable for the 6400. But that's like the boring stuff. Let's get to the fun stuff, shall we? The stuff in the back. I got a Peak Design clip on here for my camera to clip into while I'm running around. Great. I use it for hiking a whole bunch in Vancouver Island again. Highly recommend it. If you don't know, I'm a big advocate for Peak Design. Big bag opening, wonderful. Okay, let's get to filters real quick, shall we? Because I think filters are really important to discuss. We've got the Peter McKinnon. This is the Polar Pro neutral density filter, ND filter. If you don't know what that is, essentially it's like sunglasses for your camera. This is a variable one, and I really love it for a couple reasons. One, it has haptic feedback as you're changing from 2 stops to 5 stops, as well as there is no kind of that X filter problem that you have with filters that turn all the way around. If I can take this off really quickly. It only goes so far. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it only goes so far. A bit of an expensive one, but I love it. I don't question it. When I'm filming, I'm just racking between 2 and 5 stops depending on the shooting. And I don't have to worry about this weird X shape coming in. I'll show an example of other filters that can constantly turn. And yeah, a little frustrating. Don't want to have to worry about those. We got that. We also just have a protection UV filter from ProMaster again, in case you just need to keep your lens safe. Highly recommend that. Now, the camera I've been hinting at for the past few videos is the A7S III, the one that you're currently seeing me on now. I love it. Shoots 10-bit color. It's S-Log3. It's so great. It's the low light king from so many people have referred it to. Highly recommend it. A little bit on the expensive side, but so worth it if you're using it professionally for a lot of gigs. It is such a versatile tool, so highly recommend that. The 2 lenses that I have for that one specifically are the 24-105 f4 lens, as you see here. Great guys. See if I can get that to close up on that. Great lens. Really love it. I use this on like 90% of the events I go film and shoot because I have so much versatility. It's usually a handheld. We're focusing, we're changing that focal length a lot. What you're seeing me on now is the 35mm G Master f1.4 lens. So a significantly faster lens than this one. This one's only f4, but because of the A7S III's low light capabilities, f4 really isn't that big of a deal, even if you're shooting like low light events. Not to say this is the be all end all, but it's a wonderful lens to use, and I've actually seen a lot of people recommend it for like documentary work. Because yeah, it's really useful for that. So those are 2 lenses, 24-105 and the 35mm G Master f1.4. Highly recommend both of those. We've got the old tried and true A6400 still in the kit. I love photography mostly now, but it's, you know, it's a B cam in a pinch when I need to shoot something and get a secondary angle. On it is the 18-105 millimeter PZ lens, so it's an internal zoom, which is great for gimbal work. The only unfortunate part is it is an APS-C lens. It's a crop sensor lens. It doesnent work as well in the A7S III, unfortunately, but hoping to look and pick up the FX30 here eventually sometime in the future, and then we can use the crop sensor lenses again. The A6400 is a great starting camera. What else do we got in here? We've got charging cables. We've got, if you don't have this in your kit, this right here, this is the blower, go get one. This is the Nissi one. You can get whatever brand. It's essentially so you can take the lens and you see this, all this little dust on here. Great, takes all that off, gets rid of it. Couldn't recommend that more. If you don't have this, they're like $12, $15 or something. Go grab one for your kit. They're inexpensive and very useful. We've got small rig for the A7S III. I've got a top handle. Obviously, I don't need it right now because we're filming at home on a tripod, which is fine. We got a Joby Gorilla Pod when we're out shooting for YouTube out in public, which honestly I haven't used very much. Bought this for Christmas a while ago and haven't used it very much anyways. I would say this is useful for a lot of niche stuff. If you really think you need one, I would see if you like doing handheld kind of shooting like this, more or less, like, oh, I have the camera on me. If you dig that vibe, then this can be useful. Otherwise, with you, I find myself using my tripod more and more. But anyways, something to look at. Maybe we'll talk about this in another video. So from this bag, number one thing I'd recommend, get an ND filter. It doesn't have to be the expensive one. It doesn't have to be, you know, the Peter McKinnon Polar Pro one, as much as I love it. Get an ND filter if you're doing video work. They are so useful. You can shoot on like an f1.8, f2.0 kind of aperture and not have to worry about being super exposed, but you get that depth of field that you've always wanted. So ND filter, number one recommendation. And if you're wondering what cameras do I save up for, what do I get? I love the A7S III, but I also realize it's pretty expensive. Right now, honestly, the FX30 for video work is looking amazing. So check that one out. All right, here we got the lovely Pelican case with the gimbal inside. I've already unclipped it because it's kind of loud. So if we open this up, I will attempt to show the camera. We've got a lovely gimbal in there. This is the Ronin RSC2, a great gimbal that I've loved using. I've been using it for just over a year now. Highly recommend it. Really great way to stabilize your footage. And I know in the video world, gimbals are kind of a contention in tool and what to use it for and who likes them and who doesn't. I think they're a great tool that if you use appropriately for what you really need it for example, real estate work, you really need that clear-cut footage, gimbals are great. They're awesome, they're good to use, but some people prefer handle, which is fine. I like it to use it for some events, usually when I'm trying to get big, wide, sweeping shots of what's happening. It's kind of hard to do that while walking and holding my little mirrorless camera. I'm assuming that's probably easier if you get a bigger camera, but anyways. Gimbal, highly recommend the RSC2. It handles the weight of my camera and the f/24-105 lens. Great, I have no issues with that whatsoever. And I even have like a small rig piece on my A7S III as well, but this handles the weight just fine. Now, please understand this. When you buy a gimbal, this does not immediately cure your footage of shakiness. It requires a bit of learning, a little bit of practice to be able to get those really smooth shots, okay? This is not gonna immediately solve that problem. When I worked at the camera studio, that was a big gripe I had when people came back and said, hey, my footage isn't good. It's because you gotta practice. It's a tool you've now owned, or you're now using. Please practice it and develop the skill in that way. But yes, gimbal RSC2 recommend. It's like the middle priced for a couple years ago, but it's great. It's a great tool for me to use. There's newer ones, but they're expensive. So I'm trying to help on the budget here. This is one I recommend. And honestly, if you can get a peeler case for these things and like make little foam inserts, the dream to carry, All right, that's it for that one. Let's go to the final bag. Last thing is the drone I now use. This has been a long time coming. I love drones, love how they look, love what they do. And we've got the Mavic Mini 2 right here. All so very pretty, looking great, looking stylish, looking good. Highly recommend this guy. I know the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 3 just came out, but again, gear is not the be all end all. Get what works for you, especially budget wise. These still take great footage for the price that you're paying. So the Mini 2 I highly recommend. Great thing to check out. That's pretty much all I have in terms of the kit I'm using this year, or that I've used this past year in 2022. Two things you might be wondering, Josh, you have zero audio and you don't really have a monitor. Now, and this is kind of the point that I wanted to get to for this whole thing, this whole what's in my camera bag in 2022 and what I'm going to 2023 with. takes time to accumulate the gear. It's not gonna be an overnight thing. It's not gonna be something where you can go drop 10K at a camera store. Maybe you can, all the credit to you, but I can't. And I've accumulated a lot of this gear over 4 or 5 years of doing this. And I think that's perfectly okay. I think there can be a stress on people to just, I need to buy the newest gear, the best gear. The A7S III is 2 or 3 years old now, right? There's other cameras that are newer out there. There's newer laptops, newer gimbals, newer drones. Of all my stuff, there are newer versions of them. But you can still make great content with some stuff that's 3, 4, 5 years old. So please, don't think this video is something that means you have to go out and buy these things right away. I just want to show you what's in my camera bag and what I'm going to be using in 2023 and what I'm excited about, and some things that I think are important for you to look at / invest in if you're pursuing this career, hobby, profession, whatever you want to call it. Let me know in the comments what you think I've missed or what I need to look for, or if you have questions about gear I have. I've used my gear every day pretty much during the week, so I'm pretty well attuned with it. So if you need or have any questions about the A7S III or the Ronin or the drone, whatever it might be, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to answer those. That's really all I have in my camera bag for 2022. Please like, subscribe. It's amazing. Last video we hit 500 views or something, which is mind-boggling, and we gained new subscribers. Welcome to all of those who are new to the channel. We're gonna be making more content like this, tutorials, all that kind of fun stuff, and we're gonna go out and shoot some cool things. So hey, this week go make something cool. I'll have a new video for you in the new year. Yeah, it's 2023 next week. Happy New Year, and I'll be seeing you all in a week's time with something new, probably. I hope you like the new set. It won't be changing again because this was a lot more work than I expected. All right, let's go put all this stuff away because I opened everything. Oh my goodness, okay.